Hey, Brooke here, and I'm just going to take the next few minutes to talk about technology and education. So I came up with a survey to give the teachers at my school to see just what they're doing with technology in their classrooms and how they're using technology to help their students. The survey that I came up with was 8 questions long, and I'll just read the questions off to you really quickly so you know what they are. So number 1, how often do you introduce students to new technology in the classroom? And then the options were very often, frequently, sometimes, rarely, or never. And then ask for examples. Number 2, how do you encourage and empower your students to search for answers and solve their own problems with or without the use of technology? Number 3, how would you define the term digital citizen? And then what then would the qualities of a responsible and ethical digital citizen be? And then number 4, how important is collaboration between colleagues? And then extremely, very, somewhat, neutral, or not at all. Between teachers and students, same option. And then between students themselves, same options. Number 5, how can technology be used to increase or better collaboration? Number 6, how do you incorporate technology into your lesson plans, if at all? Number 7, how do you model collecting, analyzing, and compiling research for your students? And number 8, how often do you do research over your specific field of education or education in general? So all of these things I pulled from the ISTE standards for both educators and teachers. What I did is I summarized each of the standards and then kind of matched them up and saw, okay, standard number 1 for teachers matches up with standard number whatever for students, and went through all of them for there. Once I matched them up, I tried to come up with questions that hit all of those things and kind of tried to see where the teachers were at for each of those standards and how they were helping their students on each of those standards. So I gave out my survey to 5 teachers and got back 3 responses, and I will give you one of their responses now. So our 3rd grade teacher, for how often do they introduce new technology, they said rarely, so that would be maybe once or twice, a few times a semester. And her examples were using the projector for videos and then using our computer lab at the school. Number 2, what ways do you encourage and empower students to solve problems? And she said, I usually encourage exploratory questions in the class and readily answer them. We also use the computer lab for research projects. Her definition of a digital citizen would be someone who takes ownership of their identity on the internet and uses it responsibly. Digital citizens would then be people who use their voice to empower others on the internet. They would not use the internet as a means to hide their identity for reasons of harm to themselves or others. Digital citizens should remember that they are a part of a community and should use the resources at hand wisely. For collaboration, she said on all that they are extremely important. It was not sure how to use technology to better collaboration. I asked for the question about how to incorporate technology into lesson plans. She said, I rarely do outside of videos. Our school does not have the technology, like technologically advanced devices. Teachers are expected to have their own computers, and the one who did not have one when he first came, a computer from 2000, the year 2000, was given to him. It makes it difficult to include technology in our classrooms sometimes. How does she model collecting and compiling research? She said, sadly, I've not done much modeling of this for my students in regards to technology in the past. We have walked through some research as individuals collaborating with a teacher, but we have not researched as a class. And then she said she very frequently researches over her field of education or education in general, but did not give any specific resources. This was kind of the general response from the teachers, is that they don't really use technology in their classroom very much. And if they do, it's basically like using the projector or videos, and that's it. It is because the resources of our school are a little on the small side, but that's okay. We do the best with what we have. And in the future, I would like to see more at our school because we are moving into an age where technology is more prevalent, and it's important for our students to know how to use those things so that when they get into college, they can readily use those devices in a way that betters their academics. So I came up with a checklist of 5 questions to kind of check lesson plans to see if they're hitting the ISTE standards. And then my questions are, number one, is any technology being used to introduce, is any technology being introduced to the class during the activity? If so, does the teacher model responsible use of that technology? Number two, is this activity mostly student guided or teacher guided? Number three, is there an opportunity for collaboration between student and teacher and between students? Number four, are different worldviews being presented or access to the technology? And number five, has the teacher researched this technology thoroughly? For the most part, the questions that I saw other people posting on the discussion forum were kind of in the same vein. Others including if all the students can access it readily, if everybody's going to be able to understand, that kind of thing. And so I posted one of my coworkers' lesson plans online on my page if you want to look through it while I talk about it. But for the most part, there's very little use of technology here. The new technology being introduced are a couple of websites, but it's not new technology, it's technology that the students already know how to use. It looks to me like the parts with the technology, mostly the students are guiding it and not so much the teacher, which is good. And also not so much on the expanded worldview side. There is an opportunity for collaboration between students and teachers, which is great. And from what I know from this teacher, he has definitely researched this thoroughly. So while some of those standards are being hit, some are being left out, mostly the ones that deal with digital citizenship and how to use new technology and new technology being used to solve problems, which isn't awesome, but there's always room for improvement and room to grow. So that's the research that I did and the surveys and things that I did. So I hope that's helpful to you. If there's anything where I misspoke, I'm so sorry. But if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them below and I will answer them and get back to you in a timely manner. Thanks for watching.